At the Department of State, a number of digital transformation efforts are underway. In this interview, we spoke with Jimmy Hall, Intelligence Chief Information Officer within the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research, to find out more about some of the agency's top modernization priorities. If you enjoyed this interview, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you're interested in being interviewed, email summer@executivemosaic.com. Hello, and welcome to Executive Mosaic's video interview series. I'm Summer Myatt, and here to speak with me today is Jimmy Hall, Intelligence CIO for the Department of State. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Summer. Great to see you. Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it.
So, Jimmy, tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to INR.
Yeah, so I'll be remiss if I didn't state that I'm honored and I'm grateful and I'm pleased and fortunate to have served 30 years in the United States Army in a variety of intelligence and information technology fields. The last 6 years, I've served in the intelligence community, serving in a various range of CIO jobs, from deputy CIO to acting CIO. And then for the last 8 months, I've been the Chief Information Officer in the Intelligence and Research Bureau, and also the Director of Technology and Innovation Office in the Bureau, and also the State Department's CIO for Intelligence.
So, Jimmy, as you mentioned, you joined the Department of State earlier this year at the start of 2023. What are your top priorities in this role, and where are you seeing the most exciting opportunities for innovation?
Yeah, so I appreciate the question. And let me just give a little background on the Bureau in which I'm assigned. So INR has this wonderful document called the Strategic 2025 Strategic Plan. Right, and so it's a wonderful guide to go by. And so INR's main mission is to deliver and coordinate intelligence for the advancement of U.S. diplomacy. So in that role as a CIO, then I provide the information technology services in support of the delivery and coordination of intelligence. And so with that, the Bureau has 5 goals that it's focused on. First goal is to elevate strategic intelligence. The second goal is to undertake a digital transformation, which squarely fits in my lane. The third goal is to strengthen cybersecurity, also fits into my wheelhouse. The fourth goal is to cultivate a diverse and talented workforce. And lastly, the Bureau's goal is to cultivate a resilient business enterprise. So all of those lead to a charge, several charges that I have. Right? First charge for me, a first goal, would be to cloud adoption. So what we want to do is move to a TS cloud. And we're migrating that now, and I'll talk more about that later. Secondly, we want to broaden our TS-SCI connectivity throughout all embassies, camps, posts, and stations where they're eligible. Thirdly, and I've mentioned this already, we want to strengthen cybersecurity. And so that's an enduring goal, and it fits perfectly in line with what we've been asked to do. From a fourth perspective, I want to improve the user experience. You know, and we have to position ourselves from an IT perspective where our users not only feel comfortable with what the product that we're providing, but they know that it's there and they have the confidence in its availability and readability and relevancy. So we want to do that. And then lastly, I want to invest in the workforce as well. So I want to tie directly to the Bureau's strategic goal of cultivating a diverse and talented workforce by investing in our workforce. And that's in terms of training and in terms of development. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited about the opportunity to improve our operational effectiveness. I'm excited about our opportunity to improve our service delivery. I'm really excited about our opportunities to grow from an innovation perspective. So all in all, you know, the State Department is primed and ready to deliver from INR's perspective that intelligence and that's productions and those policies that we look to every day to deliver.
Jimmy, as part of INR's digital transformation efforts, I know you're working on moving top secret information to the cloud, as you mentioned earlier. Can you tell us a little bit more about the top secret cloud and where the agency is in its migration?
So yes, so again, another great question. So we're fully embracing the TS cloud, and so we're migrating to the TS cloud, so to speak. Today, we're doing a lot of foundational work to move to the cloud. Foundational work in terms of developing a strategy, which we've signed and released, developing an implementation roadmap, which we have signed and released, and some other foundational work in terms of backup and conversations with cloud providers. We're doing that today, right? So at the end of the day, it's a multi-cloud approach. We're happy with where we are. We're at the initial stages now of data backup. We're in initial stages of conversation. We're in initial stages of developing a product that will eventually move to the cloud and provide the security of the sensitive data that our users deserve.
So staying on the topic of cloud, I know you also mentioned INR is working to expand JWS Connectivity. Can you share what that will look like and how it will benefit the State Department?
Yes, and so expanding our JWS connectivity to those embassies, camps, posts, and stations that are available is a key tenet to undertaking a digital transformation. So we had no idea when we formed the strategic 2025 plan that the threat analysis would be so relevant. But as we all know today, that there's some real world examples of where the threat analysis being delivered to those embassies, camps, stations, and posts are relevant. It's important, and it's been critical to the success of not just the State Department, but the U.S. And our allies in general. And so that's what we're doing. We're expanding our TSSCI connectivity. And also, may I add that that's my entire focus in the State Department as well. So I'm solely focused on the TSSCI fabric when it comes to voice, video, and data. And we're now in a position where we can expand the connectivity, where in the past, we haven't been able to expand the connectivity, and we haven't had those real world use cases, or we haven't been resourced to expand the TSSCI fabric and its connectivity, and we're in a position to do that today. So I'm very excited about that.
So Jimmy, cloud and cybersecurity go hand in hand. What can you tell me about your efforts to bolster cybersecurity and remain compliant with evolving standards and zero trust mandates?
Yeah, so cybersecurity is important. I think I go back to a point that I made earlier today, which is the cybersecurity is one of our key tenets, right? And so we're now invested in real-time threat-based automated monitoring capabilities, right, which we didn't have before. We've raised our cybersecurity awareness to the point that we're talking almost daily inside of the State Department, inside of the Bureau, and writ large about cybersecurity. We've taken on an internal security review on our own, where we've decided to look at 3 areas, right? Security management, we're looking at access management, and we're looking at safeguarding the data. And so that's very important to cybersecurity. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, is that we've also released a cybersecurity strategy. We released a cybersecurity implementation roadmap. And all of this goes hand in hand with ensuring that we're able to provide the sensitive, the protection, the defense of all the data that we deliver on a day-to-day basis to those key policymakers, to our diplomats, and to those in between serving in foreign service for the State Department.
And lastly, Jimmy, I'm curious which emerging technologies you anticipate will have the greatest impact in the federal landscape in the coming years.
So emerging technology-wise, I think there's no surprise, right? You know, artificial intelligence and machine learning will rise to the top of the list. And it's a growth industry. It's a popular conversation. It's a needed conversation. So I would say our intent is to embrace artificial intelligence and machine learning right off the bat. Secondly, and I've talked about migrating to the TS cloud. So cloud computing is important. It's very important to what we're going to do as far as expanding JWS connectivity. It's important to the security of our data. It's important to the protection of the TSSCI fabric overall. So cloud computing is important to that. But also I would add quantum computing is important. You know, so understanding those algorithms that we can employ to better protect our sensitive data is important going forward. And sometimes this doesn't get a lot of play, but lastly, I would say geospatial intelligence is important. When you talk about terms of prediction and you talk about terms of mapping, geospatial intelligence is really important to what we do, and we need to embrace that as well. So overall, these emerging technologies will help us in terms of task automation. It will help us in analyzing vast amounts of data, which we get on a day-to-day basis. It's going to improve our accuracy and predictability. And lastly, it's going to give us a chance to safeguard our data by using quantum computing. So I'm really excited about where the emerging technologies are going. Happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for your time today and for all the work you do at the State Department.
Again, Summer, thanks so much for the invite. Good to see you, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about what we're doing in the State Department.